Rachel Zegler is at it again.
I really do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy.
I have learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard, and to prepare for the backlash that occasionally comes with that outspokenness.
The reality is she's just not stable. Like the majority of people in Hollywood, they're just not stable human beings.
I think people will just do anything to not acknowledge that respect is earned and not just given to you in life.
What she fails at more than anything is she doesn't have the ability to phrase or frame anything in a way that wins you.
She didn't know it was being recorded, she didn't know it would leak, and she definitely didn't think the entire internet would hear it. But now they have.
It's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
A new bombshell has just detonated in the Rachel Zegler-Evita saga. And this time, it's not a memo, not a blurry video, not speculation from anonymous crew members or scribbled director notes. This time, it's her voice. A leaked audio. Clip allegedly captured during one of the final rehearsals of the Evita revival has begun spreading like wildfire through private theater circles, fan forums, and influencer DMs. And within hours of its quiet debut, it exploded.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
What's in it? What's being said? And why is this one clip suddenly shifting the entire tone of the scandal? Because if the footage of her alleged meltdown caused a stir, this is causing a war. According to multiple insider accounts, the audio captures what appears to be a backstage outburst from Rachel Zegler during a rehearsal break. She's reportedly heard raising her voice, criticizing members of the production team, and making statements that, if true, are already drawing lines in the sand across the fan base. It's short, it's grainy, but it's damning.
I just saw this video that was like, Rachel Zegler doesn't have a single movie role lined up after Snow White. Rachel Zegler is making her West End debut in the biggest leading role in a musical of all time. Like, she's playing Ava Perón in a Jamie Lloyd production of Evita. I promise y'all don't need to be worrying about her career like that.
And here's what makes it even more intense. The leak comes just days after Rachel's legal team sent cease and desist letters demanding the removal of all backstage footage tied to the Evita production, including the now viral clip that allegedly shows her throwing a prop. So now fans are asking, did they try to shut that clip down because of what comes next? Because of this?
Film industry, when you are an actor, when you sign one of these contracts in the entertainment industry, I think a lot of people on the outside think that if you are somebody who has a lot of publicity around you and your name is attached to a project, that means that you have a ton of control or a ton of intel, but usually that is not the case. Unless you are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively with all of their films apparently, or Margot Robbie in Barbie and you are also an executive producer. As an actor, you don't get to dictate anything. You don't get to dictate if a film actually happens. You don't get to dictate when it is shot, how it is shot, if you can ever speak about it to the public. You are simply just there to show up and say your lines and look the way they want you to look. That is our job, and that was my job on this production, so again, that's really all I can say.
Because this isn't just another internet rumor, it's a voice, it's emotion, it's raw. And depending on who you ask, it's either the proof the producers were waiting for, or the very setup Rachel's team feared most. So, how bad is it? What exactly can be heard? And why is this 34-second audio clip sparking more outrage than anything that's leaked so far? Let's rewind. Because this moment, this one recording, might just be the loudest chapter in a scandal that's already deafening.
Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
It didn't drop on a major outlet. It didn't come from a verified account. It wasn't even uploaded with a name. It started like most digital wildfires do, in the shadows. A mysterious voice message attachment appeared in a private West and WhatsApp group. Just a 34-second audio file titled stage1.mpp3. No tags, no context, no watermark. But what happened next was immediate.
First to say, I don't know the ins and outs of the payment for these actors. To be honest, there is not a single show, a movie, or anything that I've seen really in the last 5 years that made me think these people need to be paid more. I'm sorry, but I can tell you that I wouldn't have felt that way had they not come forward and complained about it. And that's it.
Just really, why are you even worried about yourself getting paid when I thought this was about standing up for the little guy, advocating for the actors who don't get the A-list castings and aren't having their faces put on billboards but still deserve to be paid appropriately, and instead it's like it's about you in the dress. It's just not a good look.
Within an hour, that same clip began appearing in private Twitter circles, inside Reddit threads labeled NSFW Theater Leaks, and buried deep in a Discord server run by musical theater superfans. Then TikTok got hold of it. The clip wasn't even clear. You could barely hear the background. There was no video, just the faint echo of a young woman's voice cracking slightly as she shouted something mid-rehearsal. But the moment people heard what she allegedly said, they knew exactly who it was. Rachel Zegler, or someone who sounded an awful lot like her. And the line, the one that made it go viral, that's where things get messy.
The whole crying thing. It only seems genuine when Holly does it, but with Rachel it seems like she's acting. Not long ago, this is what she was saying. See, this is the reason people don't buy it. Don't get me wrong, she has a fan base, she has a following, she has people defending her, as she should have. But the way this damage control tour is becoming a bunch of statements that she should have made at the start, it all just makes her look...
Some claim she says, "This is a joke. None of you get it." Others say it was, "This role was mine from day one. Stop questioning me." A few swear she shouted directly at the director. The point is, the details are fuzzy, but the emotion came through crystal clear. She was angry, frustrated, maybe even humiliated. Her tone wasn't just sharp, it was cracking, like someone who'd been holding it in and finally broke.
I think the world needs a lot more of that these days, so that would be rule number one. And also, dogs are better than people. That would be something else. I think that works.
And just like that, fans had something new to dissect. Not just facial expressions from a paused video frame or leaked paragraphs from an email, but a voice, an attitude, a meltdown with sound. By the time the clip hit 50,000 plays, edits were already circulating. TikTok creators added subtitles, some slowed it down, others compared it to past Zegler interviews, pointing out how the tone didn't match the sweet, composed image she projected in press junkets. And that's when the real chaos started.
The only excuse I can make for her is that she's young, she's immature, she doesn't know any better. I've never heard of her before. I don't know if this is her first project or if she's done movies like this before or anything that has anything to do with acting before, but girl, this wasn't it. Like, why'd you go and dog your own movie? Dog Disney, dog the writer, she dogged everything. Now she's mad because they done fired her from upcoming projects, but you're not a team player. Why would somebody want to hire you when you don't know how to play your part? Like, you didn't know how to play your part in the movie and in the real world.
Because this wasn't just Rachel Zegler having a bad day. This was Rachel Zegler caught in the act, or pushed into it. Suddenly, the entire narrative was shifting again. This audio didn't just confirm people's suspicions, it gave them something new to believe or something new to fear. What happened next split fans right down the middle. By the time the audio reached mainstream YouTube commentary channels, the clip had already fractured into interpretations. Everyone heard something slightly different, but one thing was clear across all versions. Rachel Zegler wasn't acting. She was furious. Insiders who claimed to be present during that particular Evita rehearsal say the moment captured on tape wasn't a scripted line or part of a performance. It was raw, unrehearsed emotion, a moment when Rachel allegedly broke character mid-scene, turned off her mic, looked toward the wings, and let loose. The most common transcription goes like this: "You people don't get it. This role was mine from the start, and you're treating me like I'm disposable." Other snippets allegedly caught in the clip include, "I'm not a puppet, okay? I'm not here to play nice for you. He's rewriting everything last minute, and I'm the one who looks insane. Don't talk to me like I'm some random girl from Twitter. I'm the lead." Even if the audio is grainy, the tone was unmistakable. There was bitterness, there was stress, but there was also something else: entitlement. That last quote in particular sealed the deal. That particular phrase became a lightning rod within hours. The phrase "I'm the lead" was trending on X, formerly Twitter. People began stitching it into parody videos, fan edits, and even musical remixes. It was being mocked, but also analyzed, dissected, and weaponized. Suddenly, the backlash wasn't just about one outburst, it was about perception. To critics, this was confirmation of everything they'd suspected. That Rachel was clashing with the cast, that she saw herself as untouchable, and that the chaos behind Evita wasn't exaggerated but spiraling. To defenders, though, the tone said something different. They argued it was frustration, not arrogance. The sound of a young actress cracking under pressure, an artist tired of being blamed for a production unraveling around her. One TikTok comment, with over 25,000 likes, read, "She sounds pushed, not spoiled." Anything before it? The director's notes that painted her as difficult, the rehearsal footage allegedly showing her throwing a prop, was just hearsay. But this was her voice. Not someone else's summary, not another angle, just her, and it forced people to ask the real question. Was this the smoking gun the producers had been waiting for? Or was it proof that Rachel Zegler was being baited, pushed into snapping so someone could hit record? Because if this audio was leaked by someone inside the theater, that wasn't an accident, it was a plan. And the bigger question wasn't what she said, but why the world is only hearing it now. That's what makes what came next even more chilling. If the audio shook the internet, it shattered the cast. Within hours of the leak gaining traction, multiple anonymous posts began surfacing on Reddit threads and private theater forums, allegedly from crew members who were present that day. One claimed, "I knew someone was recording. You could feel it like something was about to blow." Another posted, "She was cracking for days, but hearing it out of context, that's not the Rachel I worked with. Others weren't so generous." One Backstage dresser reportedly said via DM to a West, and to the gossip accounts, no one was surprised. The tension had been building all week. She made everyone walk on eggshells. Then there was the supporting cast. One alleged chorus member wrote anonymously when the clip dropped, "Some of us re-listened 5 times, some defended her, some just said, 'Finally.'" The division was instant, and it didn't stop at the cast. According to one leak, a rehearsal report filed after the incident, one that predated the viral footage, contained similar phrasing to what was caught on the audio. This means the producers may have known this clip existed long before it was leaked, which raises an unsettling theory. If the production had access to this audio already, did they withhold it until it was useful? Or did someone outside the official chain decide to take matters into their own hands? Adding to the confusion, a former assistant choreographer who had since left the project posted on Instagram and later deleted. No comment, but some people are only difficult when one listens. That post alone was shared over 40,000 times before vanishing. The theater world, long known for keeping internal drama off the record, was suddenly caught in the crossfire of fan-driven forensic investigation. Analysis of every cast interaction, every absence from the curtain call, and every blurry backstage selfie was now being reinterpreted through the lens of the audio. And that created a ripple effect even the producers didn't expect. Because now, it wasn't just about Rachel's voice on the tape. It was about everyone who stayed silent when they heard it the first time. The next 24 hours would only intensify the pressure. Suddenly, the person being judged wasn't just Rachel, it was anyone who had heard that tantrum live and let it slide. As the audio clip gained momentum and public opinion swung wildly, one question echoed louder than the rest. Where was Rachel Zegler's team? Because in the wake of legal threats, takedown demands, and a storm of speculation, silence wasn't an option anymore. According to reports from insider entertainment bloggers, Rachel's publicist was contacted for comment within hours of the audio surfacing. No official statement was released, but the damage control machine allegedly went into overdrive behind the scenes. One well-known entertainment attorney who previously worked with West End talent claimed on Twitter, "I've seen the letters, they're moving fast. DMCA strikes incoming." Legal warnings and even private outreach to fan creators demanded they stop spreading the clip. But that tactic backfired. Instead of suppressing the leak, it only made it bigger. Some creators began blurring the audio, masking the voice, or adding commentary just to evade takedowns while keeping the narrative alive. Then came the speculation. People started to theorize that Rachel's legal team didn't want to address the content of the clip because doing so would legitimize it. So instead, they went for a scorched earth strategy. Erase it, threaten consequences, and hope the timeline would move on. But the internet doesn't forget, and the more they tried to shut it down, the more viral it became. TikTok duets exploded. YouTube reaction videos tripled overnight. Hashtags like #NonRachelAudio and Evita leak began trending across multiple platforms, all while Rachel's official accounts remained silent. This silence sparked a new wave of criticism. If she didn't say it, why not deny it? If it's not her, why are they panicking? This is what guilt looks like. Meanwhile, her defenders were quick to strike back. One popular theater YouTuber, known for behind-the-scenes West End coverage, said, "We've all cracked in rehearsal, but when you're the one being filmed, the one whose voice gets leaked, suddenly you're the villain." And that's where the narrative started to split again. Now, the debate wasn't just about what Rachel said or how she said it. It was about whether she was being punished for being human or exposed for being entitled. In the middle of that storm, Rachel Zegler said nothing. But her silence was starting to say everything. The next move wouldn't come from her, it would come from the people who leaked the clip. And what they leaked next. For days, the Evita drama had been framed around blurred rehearsal footage and anonymous notes. The narrative was messy, but manageable. Until now. Because this audio clip changed the game. Up until this point, the scandal surrounding Rachel Zegler's involvement in the Evita revival had been driven by leaks, rumors, and shaky evidence. Fans were working with bits and pieces. Director notes describing her as a nightmare to work with. Footage that allegedly showed her throwing a prop, cast walkouts that were never officially confirmed. But now, there was something different. Sound, emotion, proof. This wasn't someone's interpretation, this was real. A tone, a voice cracking under pressure, an actual moment caught in time, one that forced viewers to choose sides in real time. Some heard ego, others heard exhaustion, but everyone heard Rachel, not the Disney princess, not the polished interview guest, not the public figure, but the woman behind the curtain, caught in a moment she never meant for the world to hear. Suddenly, the questions got deeper. What kind of environment was she working in? Was she being over-directed, micromanaged, isolated, or was she, as the producers allegedly feared, spiraling into full diva behavior? Even legal analysts began chiming in, noting that if this clip were authenticated and used as evidence, it could drastically shift the power dynamics of her countersuit. A backstage outburst could be framed as workplace stress or contractual misconduct, depending on the angle. But here's what really changed with the release of that clip. People stopped speculating about what happened and started reacting to what they heard. Because sound is visceral. You don't need to see Rachel throw a binder or read a memo to understand her mood. You just need 30 seconds of audio and your imagination fills in the rest. That's why this leak didn't just go viral, it rewrote the entire narrative. No more guessing, no more rumors. Now the scandal had a voice, and it belonged to Rachel. Whether it was fair, manipulated, or just the worst moment of her career, it was real. For better or worse, that 34-second clip might end up defining everything that came before it, and everything that happens next. So now we've heard it. Not filtered through a headline, not paraphrased by a journalist, not whispered in some gossip forum. We heard her, Rachel Zegler, backstage, unfiltered, real. The 34-second audio clip that no one was supposed to hear, the one captured quietly, leaked anonymously, and dissected globally, has become the centerpiece of a scandal that just won't quit. And why? Because it doesn't just confirm what people thought. It makes them feel something. It's not about whether she raised her voice, it's about how she raised it. The cracks, the tension, the words, the pauses. In that moment, short as it was, Rachel Zegler wasn't a Disney lead or a breakout star, or a press-trained actress promoting a role. She was human, frustrated, exhausted, maybe angry, and suddenly exposed. That's why this leak hit harder than the blurry rehearsal video. It gave people what they crave most in a controversy, a moment that feels too raw to be fake. Because whether you believe she's the victim or the villain, the baited or the breakdown, there's no denying that this clip made everything personal. It wasn't just about Evita anymore. It wasn't about contracts or call sheets or choreography. It was about control, who has it, who loses it, and what happens when someone dares to snap in front of the wrong person at the wrong time with a mic still hot. And what's most fascinating? This isn't new. Hollywood is built on pressure. Cookers. Broadway has been hiding backstage meltdowns for decades. But rarely does the public get this close to the edge. Close enough to hear the voice crack, the pacing shift, the frustration spill out between gasps. Rachel's defenders say this is what happens when you push someone too far. Her critics say it's what happens when you think you are untouchable. And the rest of us? We're left wondering how one moment, 34 seconds, barely half a minute, can shift the entire narrative of a production, a lawsuit, and possibly a career. Because, make no mistake, this will follow her. Every audition room, every press tour, every contract negotiation, that clip will echo. Casting directors will ask, can she handle the pressure? Producers will whisper, is she worth the risk? And the internet? It'll never forget. Not because it was the most dramatic leak in history, but because it was the most believable. In a world where so many celebrity scandals feel staged, Rachel's voice felt real. Not rehearsed, not publicist approved, just caught. And that's exactly why it went viral. It wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect. It was messy, human, and unforgettable. But maybe the bigger question isn't what did she say? Maybe it's why are we so obsessed with it? Why are we drawn to meltdowns? Why do we loop leaked audios? Why do we turn every celebrity crack into a meme, a remix, a moment? Because deep down, we're not just watching Rachel. We're watching ourselves. What we tolerate, what we cancel, what we forgive, and maybe what we enjoy watching fall apart. But here's what's wild. This might not even be the biggest leak. This might just be the start. Because every time something drops, a video, a note, a DM, a voice, it exposes not just the celebrity, it exposes the machine. And if Rachel's team is right, if this was all part of a setup, a campaign to push her offstage and bury her under the weight of her own reactions, then what comes next might not be a breakdown. It might be a reckoning, because when you back someone into a corner and then leak their worst moment, you better hope you're clean too. And right now, everyone's hands look a little dirty. So what happens next? Maybe someone else leaks footage. Maybe a cast member finally breaks silence. Maybe Rachel speaks. Or maybe we get another 30 seconds. And it changes everything. If you don't want to miss that moment, if you want to be first when the next bombshell drops, then do this. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the story. Because this isn't just gossip anymore. It's a timeline unraveling in real time. And the next headline might be louder than the audio, might be worse than the video, might be the thing that breaks the Evita revival for good. Stay ready, because we're not done yet.